Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you find yourself tuning in, wherever you find yourself tuning in, even if you're not wearing pants, we're glad you're here.
I'm not wearing pants.
I'm aware of that, and it's quite disturbing.
You're welcome.
Quite disturbing. I am your co-host, Pastor Pinewood, and with us in studio today,
You're the co-host, Beezy.
Easy's always in studio today,
Yeah, most of the time.
almost annoyingly so.
Well, you're welcome.
We appreciate it. We really do. Today's a little bit different. We're out of the doghouse, literally and figuratively out of the doghouse.
Yep.
And we're actually recording in the dusty, windswept plains of the Texas Panhandle, even farther north than your dusty, windswept plains.
Yeah.
We're recording in the barn. And so you might hear a duck or a chicken or a goat or a dog or even a random cow or raccoon in the background because we're in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Moo.
So we're going to talk about that just a little bit, but we're here in my neck of the woods recording today, and if you don't know, we have to travel to find each other to record, and that's kind of been a pain in the butt.
That'll be all right. We're making do.
Making do with weather and all the other shenanigans that happen. Sometimes it's just difficult, especially this time of year.
Yep. Holidays, and especially the big ones coming up.
That's true.
The big ones that have already passed.
Yeah, the biggest one almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a good one?
I did. It wasn't bad.
Did you get anything good?
Yes.
Well, don't.
But being an adult, I've been buying Christmas presents for myself the entire year. So
That's a fair point. Usually I buy my Christmas presents in June, July, and I don't tell my wife about them.
No, that's fair. I try not to buy big stuff that my wife could stumble upon, like guns.
Oh, I got you. That's why you got to hide them in your car
Yeah.
and secret bank accounts and all that?
Oh, of course.
Okay, all right.
I don't have those, though.
We're giving good quality information out to folks. Quick reminder, go out and check us out on all the socials, on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and even on Patreon. Love to have you guys out there, whether you're a Todd Tom or a Nuggie. We don't care whether you're a 412 or a 413, old school, original gangster. We love having you around. So go out there and find us on Facebook. We're trying to build a little community there, and we'll have some pictures and stuff on Instagram and just more as we get started and going. And the Patreon thing, don't feel obligated right now, but in the future as we get a little bit more steady in what we're doing, hopefully we'll have some things that we can kind of partner with all of our folks and do some good in the world around us. Amen to that.
And the social media is the best way, other than our email, theseguysquestions@gmail.com, to submit your own questions or answers that you have found on Yahoo or wherever it may be.
Yeah, and that's the whole deal. We want to find wacky, crazy questions and also some serious questions, and we'll give you two completely, totally opposite ends of the spectrum as far as
For the most part.
the outlook goes. So might have a great answer for you, and BZ never has any good answers at all.
That's fair.
That's fair. All right. Well, I want to talk just a minute about where we're at.
The barn.
The barn.
I love it. It's my first time actually being in the barn.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. Got a little work to do.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, so we'll try to get there. But one of the things that I have stroved. One of the things that I aim to do, especially with our little church, is to do something kind of bigger than us. And so we've created a market garden and farm at the church. We set on about an acre and a third, and a lot of that land was not used for anything except for Bermuda grass, and that just meant we had to mow 2 or 3 times every week, it seemed like, in the summer. And so we ripped out some of that grass. We put in a couple of greenhouses, just one right now, but hopefully 2 in the future. And we'll do a farmer's market in the spring, and really excited about utilizing those resources that are local and helping people eat better and feel better. And, I think we get so caught up in what we do on a small scale that we forget it's all included.
And I'll say your pickled jalapenos are amazing.
They are pretty good. I
only got half a jar left.
Well, I'll give you another one before you leave. We got some
Alright,
left. But that's what we're doing, and that's where we're at, and it's really exciting. So I do want to talk about over the holidays. Mr. Beasy had an injury.
Oh gosh, yeah. So we were playing some football, as one does, and
let's go ahead and clear the record. Not like A professional football game.
No, I'm a professional.
You are a professional.
Yeah, I had to quit
Oh.
life.
Okay. All right. Just too
And-
tough on
and
you
no
and
talent.
the family. That no talent thing will get you.
Yeah, every
It'll get
time.
you every
know,
time.
I've tried and tried. They still will not hire me.
Man, I go. They don't even let me on the cheerleading squad. Like I figured, if I couldn't play
mean,
football,
You'd be a great bottom.
I don't even know about that, and
that's
I don't think they pay their cheerleaders anyway. So it would be a
It's
road-
all in sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly. So what'd you do?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not 20 anymore, and I treated my body like I was. So we have the rule where you can do tackle or you can do touch or
Oh, y'all just kind of free for all it.
yeah, it's free for all. So I mean, I'm the macho.
Who does that? Every game you got to pick
OGs.
one. OG.
No. Oh, geez. Well, we have a couple of kids out there, so
I say tackle them too.
one of them wanted to be
Yeah,
tackled.
teach them that life's a little rough around the
That's
edges
right.
sometimes.
That's right. Well, it was nearing the end, and I've been beating myself up this whole time, flying and swatting balls and just running my body through the ringer. And the final time that I touched the ball, had a good run, broke a pretty solid tackle, and I decided to do tackle because America. And I was going down, and another guy fell on top of me, and I'm pretty sure my left shoulder touched my sternum.
Nice.
So I believe I have a cracked rib, and it feels amazing. So if you ever get the opportunity to have a cracked rib, let me tell you,
Go
it's
ahead and do
awesome.
it.
Just do it.
Okay. All right. And there's a ton of stuff they can do about a cracked rib, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Ice and compression.
And pretty much you just feel like you're going to die for a couple weeks and then you get better.
Yep. So I was really hoping that the Terminator technology was out and they could just throw some nanobots in me, but it's not around yet. I asked.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe your insurance just wasn't up to snuff.
Well, that's true.
I'm pretty sure Donald Trump has at least one or two nanobots running around in him.
Oh, yeah, it has to.
And Joe Biden definitely does.
That's how he keeps his hair orange.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So this, I assume this is with your family.
Family, friends.
Okay. So people you knew,
Oh, yeah.
people who weren't out for blood revenge or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, they were.
Oh, I mean, like everybody is.
Okay. All right. So you kind of paying for all those stupid things you did when you were a kid.
This is the day where we're like, all right, so if you want to play tackle, we're tackling for reals.
So familial scores to be settled are settled over the holiday football
On
games.
the holiday football games. That is right.
Sunday.
This Sunday, SmackDown, brother.
Well, yeah, we almost couldn't do any kind of NFL games. You can't go to the can't sit in the stands or anything. So maybe this is the next best thing.
There you go.
So I don't know. Well, I had a similar injury. I was much younger, like as a teenager. I was running out for a catch, and as a young guy, I was pretty fast, especially for a skinny white kid. And I was running, and I got up onto the curb because we were playing in the street, and I was
Yes.
trying to catch the ball. We were in Fort Worth, and Fort Worth. Now look, I'm a Texas Panhandle boy, and we don't have trees. We have twigs that stick out of the ground
And
sometimes.
mesquite.
and definitely mesquite. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get kind of scratched up when you run through the mesquite. Fort Worth's got real trees. That's like East Texas trees.
Yeah.
And I ran head first without looking, like smack dab into a tree.
Jumped out in front of you.
At full sprint.
Best guard.
It was, and for some reason, you call it God or fate or whatever, like it didn't kill me. Like I got up and kept playing. Like I don't know how. I think it was just because I was 17.
Or you just really don't run that fast.
Yeah. Maybe it's all the delusion. That is possible also.
Yeah.
But shout out to holiday injuries on the football field.
Woohoo.
Lots of fun. We would love to hear your stories about holiday injuries, and we might even share them on the next episode if you'll send us an email at theseguysquestions@gmail.com. Let us know if you've got any of those great holiday injuries to boot. The more gore and blood, the better.
Yes.
And if you could include pictures,
Even better.
even better. We might even share them on the socials.
That's right.
Yep.
Till they ban us.
Yeah. And it's getting close. Like we might be banned
Yeah.
for too long. I think it is time for libations. Libations.
Wow, you
Man,
gonna try that one again?
gosh, we haven't even cracked open a beer yet. What is the
know.
deal?
Good grief.
Libations Library. Libations Library is brought to you today by Big Beezy's Fart House Brewery. Beezy's Fart House specializes in creating their own unique brands of ale, IPAs, lagers, sours, pilsners, and their flagship brew, the Fart House Imperial Stout. Trust us when we say it tastes better than it sounds. Get on down to Big Beezy's Fart House Brewery and order you up some gut-busting hooch at a price that'll make you come back for more time and time again. Yeah! Okay, all that's nonsense.
I loved it.
I thought it was pretty good.
That was great.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I believe this or not, that came to me in a dream.
I believe it.
I literally thought about
I 100% believe that.
So that may be something we roll with in the future. Beezy's Fart House Brewery.
I love it.
I think it's
I
hilarious.
think we just make our own brews. Do
Yeah.
we have any fans that are microbrewers?
Any microbrews out there that could work around the name Fart House?
I mean, it would definitely. I mean, it could probably be a skunky beer.
Well, I've had some beers that have created the rumbles down under, if you will.
Yeah.
So, what are we drinking today?
All right. Well, today we are drinking Dragon's Milk White.
The White Stout.
The White Stout. It is an amazing beer. 6% ABV. This is from the New Holland Brewery in Michigan.
Nope, Michigan.
Michigans.
Now, I'll admit, I have never had a white stout before. I didn't actually even know a white stout existed.
I hadn't either until a couple of months ago when I found it. And I've had a couple of the other Dragon's Milk beers.
And they're fantastic.
They're fantastic.
Yes, they are. So I'm excited to try this one. I did a little bit of research, and apparently they age these in bourbon barrels.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Bourbon barrel aged.
Okay. All right. So that's how they get the stout label.
Sure.
And interestingly, if you pour it in a glass, it looks like an ale.
Ale. Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
All right. And you recommend already before we even open up? You've done some pre-work
testing.
All right. Well, let's crack these open and see what the fuss is all about. Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, sir. That is a tasty beverage.
I will tell you, it's just there's a lot of flavor there,
Yeah.
and it's almost deceiving at first
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like it's going to be that much, and then it kind of just hits you all of a sudden.
Flavors just unpack.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely get the vanilla and the coffee for sure, right on the front, and it's super super smooth.
Yeah. It's probably the smoothest stout I've ever had.
Yep. Now I don't quite on their website it says you can kind of taste some of the oak from time to time, but I don't get that yet. But maybe as we go on, I'll get a little bit.
You
of
need
it.
to slam more of them.
Well, I don't know about all that, but it is good. I think it's very good. What are you thinking on rating if you had to give it one?
Well,
And we got to pick a category too because it kind of spans a couple actually.
yeah. This one now is my go-to beer.
Is it?
Yeah, I've had to switch, and unfortunately, the place I get my beer a lot has been out for the last month, and they just had restocked it today.
Thanks, Obama. Well, if I remember correctly, it's fairly pricey.
Yeah, I think it's like $12 for a 6-pack of cans.
Okay,
which,
all right.
I mean, quality beer.
Yeah,
6%,
absolutely.
It's still on the low end
Well-
in the ABV market, but especially for the price.
Yeah, and especially for stouts.
Yeah.
A lot of your stouts are a little higher than that.
Yep. But and it may also be the brand too, because I know all of their beers are pretty high end.
Yeah, and we're at obviously it's going to be an import, so there's that.
Yep.
So I think it's got a lot going for it. I don't know if I'm comfortable really putting it in the stout category.
Maybe we put an asterisk next to it.
Maybe so. maybe so. I'm going to give it a solid 92.
Yeah, well, I was actually gonna go a little bit higher. I really want to go with a 94.
Dang, 94. I think that's the highest number we got so far.
It is. Well, for both of us, this is definitely the highest averaged ranking on any of the beers.
Yeah. Well, it's well-rounded. I think anybody who drinks beer that's not, Coors Light and Keystone. I mean, if you're into connoisseur type level of beer drinking, it's gonna meet every need.
Yeah.
Even somebody who drinks IPA is gonna get the flavor profile.
Yep.
It's not gonna be it's not bitter at all. It's got a sweetness to it, but it's not overly sweet. That's one problem that I have with a lot of stouts, and especially imperial stouts and coffee stouts. It's too sweet.
Yeah, very heavy.
And the heaviness doesn't bother me so much, but man, the sweetness is rough for me. I don't like the sweet a lot, but it's very good. So I got a 92, you got a 94.
Yeah.
All right. So both of us highly recommend. No chasm divide this time.
That's right. The Dragon's Milk White Bourbon Barrel Aged White Stout
From New Holland Brewery.
New Holland Brewery.
All right, check those guys out. And I do believe, I'm not 100% positive, but they do have the option on their website to order it. I'm not sure how that works wherever you are, but feel free to go to their website, dragonsmilk.com, and check those guys out. Not a sponsor. Maybe at some point.
You.
Not a sponsor, but just something that we enjoy doing. So that's our libations. And by the way, the new libations intro was recorded by your very own Mr. Beasy.
Yeah,
good job, man.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was good times. We'll have to get it a little bit better in the future, but it suffices for now.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. We got our beers. I've got a little cigar. I won't go into what I'm smoking, but just know it's a good stick, and we're gonna go right into our 4 questions. 4 questions. All right, Beezy's on deck for 1 and 2. I'll take 3 and 4. We kind of have some funny ones and not so funny ones, and they're all around the subject of New Year's. Depending on what day this drops, it's going to be in the next few days that y'all are going to experience this whole New Year's Eve thing and New Year's Day, and we thought we'd have some questions about it. So
about the New Year's
2021.
2021.
Not sad to see 2020 go.
Minus COVID.
That's a good point.
It really hasn't been a bad year.
No.
I mean,
we lost Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty that's pretty tough, but
and Alex Trebek.
Yeah, that's true. Dang.
Yeah, we did have some celebrity deaths. For
yeah,
sure.
I had some rough ones, and COVID sucked worldwide.
Yeah, it did. I mean, minus the COVIDs.
Yep.
Still hadn't been a terrible year. I mean, if you take that out, you always have celebrities passing away.
That's true.
But I mean, we kicked off the podcast.
That's true. That was a great thing.
Yeah.
And we don't live in 1850.
That's true.
When we have a headache, our option is
Whiskey
Laudanum Salt.
Shout out to Time Suck Podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a shout out maybe every episode because we love it. We love it. As a matter of fact, Time Suck was the inspiration for this podcast in a lot of ways. Yep. Even though I think we've been trying to do something like this even before we discovered podcast or Time Suck, but definitely had some inspiration. All right, so question number 1, have at it.
All right. So, John says, I'm having a New Year's party, got a projector. What should I project? And then he goes on to say, got a huge wall, got a smoke machine, and lasers. Don't know what to project onto it.
Is he projecting in Studio 54 in
Yes.
1978? Like what
Possibly.
the heck? Who has a laser set up with fog machines in their house?
We did back in college, if you remember, at the Foster house.
That was different. That was different. I do remember some of those times, and
vaguely.
I don't remember some of those times.
A lot of those times did have the lasers and the smoke machines.
Yeah, I don't remember the laser so much, but I do remember that wonky smoke machine we had.
Oh yeah, that was the smoke machine was just us sitting in my car.
Yes,
with Swisher Sweets trying to hotbox it.
Gosh, and we weren't even doing anything like illegal. It was literally just 2 19-year-old kids smoking cigars in your Dodge Neon.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times indeed.
Gosh, I'm thankful to be in 2020. thinking about those times. All right, so the question is, what does he project?
Yeah, what would you project?
So if you buy a projector and a light show and smoke, you gotta do Pink Floyd, right?
You know what's funny is that there's only two answers for this question.
Of course there is.
And the favorite answer is play Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album while projecting The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Because you know that they say that if you play Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz, it syncs up.
Oh, that's right.
The movie syncs
That's
together
right.
with the whole album.
Now, have you ever tried to do that?
I never have the patience to do that. I don't want to watch Wizard of Oz.
Me neither. And I don't really enjoy listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Me neither.
Now, I will tell you a Wizard of Oz version that I really like is the one that's directed by Quentin Tarantino, is written by Quentin Tarantino, and it's narrated by
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. That version is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, if y'all don't know that reference, it's old Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo.
Some of his early stuff, as a matter of fact. And
Yeah.
I think his earlier stuff is a lot better.
I agree.
So,
Funny comedian.
okay, all right. So Pink Floyd, I mean, it's a little cliche-ish,
Sure.
but if you're going to have a projector and smoke,
A
and
laser light smoke show.
yeah, I guess. Maybe turn off the lasers and the smoke, and maybe just watch a good movie on it.
For New Year's?
Well, yeah. I mean,
how is that? How is that going to be good though? If you're throwing a party.
well, he didn't say anything about throwing a party, did he?
Yeah, I'm having a New Year's party.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe not a movie in the background at a party. So maybe Pink Floyd's the right answer.
Yeah, I can't find it unless you're gonna swap the album out with something better like AC/DC.
Well, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If I was going to choose one, AC/DC would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was me and I was going to throw a party and I wanted to, now the question is this going to be the focal point or is this going to be like in the background while they play beer pong?
So I know the projectors that I've seen are usually broadcasting games. So since there's not going to be a game on New Year's Eve
Right.
at midnight,
Right.
go to ESPN the Ocho
No.
and you've got to do curling.
Ooh. I like that. I like that. A little curling action back there with the smoke and the lasers.
And then a little bit of beer pong in the foreback or
Okay.
foreground.
The foreback.
In the foreback.
Well, you can't go wrong with two epic sports
That's
like
right.
curling and beer
ping
pong. Yeah, I agree. So I can't think of anything I've ever watched at a New Year's party. Usually it's more about what you got in your hand,
Yeah.
not what you're being entertained with.
Yeah, we've always been big gamers.
Yeah, that's true.
Like not necessarily video games, but like beer pong or quarters
Yep.
or those kinds of games.
Yeah, seeing how many beers we can slam before we pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Power hours.
yeah. By the way, this is all in my BC years.
Yeah.
Those years before the pastoral thing came along. And,
Before the church.
yeah, before the church.
That's what BC stands for.
We all have the past. Even some of us that have cleaned up our acts a bit. I don't know. So let us know what you think. In my opinion, I might go with the stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Like just a roll of different comedians throughout the evening.
Yeah. Do like a little Pandora hot list.
Yeah, maybe so. But I imagine you could do that with YouTube clips.
Yeah, sure.
So little Tom Segura and Bert and
Yeah.
those guys.
Dan Cummins.
Yeah, maybe so. So I think if it was me, I think I'd leave out the fog machine and the lasers. And
I think if you're going to roll all of it, you have to broadcast a live band.
I didn't even think about that. That's a possibility.
AC/DC live.
Yeah.
I do like the comedians. It's not a bad touch.
Now
That
that's
could- that
not
could
everybody's
be
into
nice.
comedians.
Well, those people are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Toms.
As a matter of fact, I hear rumors that we're going to have Todd Tom Colley in later.
Oh,
today.
good grief.
Yeah. So we're
How did
looking
he
forward
get
to
our
that.
number?
I don't know. I didn't hand it out.
Oh,
but it
I
is
think that was me, actually.
great. Great.
I think I gave it to him.
All right. So I feel like we've given him enough answers for the projector. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of having the projector going during the New Year's party at all, unless it's really in the background,
Sure.
like music or comedians or something like that.
I like it. I like it. I think that's solid.
Yep.
And then do you do the obligatory ball drop?
On the projector?
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm talking about castrations.
Well, for that, I
And
think
then
they
do
just
a calf ride.
I think they just use rubber bands. I think is how that works. For all you farming folks out there, I know they don't use rubber bands. I'm being completely and totally sarcastic. However, they do use rubber bands in some parts of the country for sheep.
Really?
Yeah, and theoretically, that's the quote unquote humane way to do it.
How? It literally dies off of it.
Literally dies off and falls off.
Ugh, that's terrible.
Yeah. If you want to see that in action, I don't know why you would, but if you do, you can YouTube Dirty Jobs castration, and he goes over the two different techniques and
micro.
Yeah, it's horrible. Hey, you can play that on the projector
There you go.
during New Year's.
Well,
and
that's the ball drop.
That's the ball drop, and nobody will ever come to your party ever again.
Yep, that's true.
Which for those of us loners, that kind of kills two birds with one stone.
Talk about two birds.
Yes. All right. So I think we've answered number one. Let us know what you think if you got any other thoughts. What's the second one?
Question number 2. All right. What are some music recommendations? One of my 2021 resolutions is to expand my taste in music and find new genres or artists. I plan on making a long list to explore throughout the year, so drop some of your favorites. You can answer with artists, songs, albums, personal playlists, blah, 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 blah. No judgment, but give them suggestions.
All right. Do we know how old this guy is? Or
No,
gal?
it's Taylor, which is a unisex name.
That's true.
So,
Yep. Could be Taylor or Taylor Swift.
yeah.
Okay.
So what kind of music do you listen to on the reg?
Well, anymore, I listen to a lot of older school country music. Go figure.
Hymns.
And all I do listen to a lot of hymns, but mostly because we have to play those hymns on a Sunday morning. I don't drive around listening to hymns most of the time.
You
But
really strike me as somebody that does that.
yeah,
That's most of your playlist.
how weird would it be if they caught a serial killer and that was his MO? Like he just listened to
jamming to
freaking Amazing Grace.
gospel yacht rock.
Out there killing folks to Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
Yep. Rock of Ages, Cleft for Me, has a whole new meaning whenever you're beating somebody in the head with a rock. But I'm a huge fan of early to mid classic rock. So
Okay.
from like 1965 through maybe 1985.
Okay.
Those type bands. That's kind of my wheelhouse. If I was going to recommend something to him, take some recommendations from everybody that leaves him suggestions, but also start with what you already like. And we have all these wonderful things that are at our fingertips now, like YouTube and Pandora.
Spotify.
But all these things you can just plug in a name, and then you get to hear all this other stuff that's related.
Yep.
And you just branch out from there. And some of our favorite pieces we got by listening to Pandora.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that's what I would recommend. Start with what you do like, and then kind of slowly branch out from there.
Yep. I like it.
Any other thoughts?
No, that you really kind of hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, you really you can't screw up by saying such and such on Pandora. Sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh, that happens.
Just go to Pandora, and we've been throwing around the name all day. Might as well go with it again. Just AC/DC.
Yeah, they got a new album.
I know.
It's fantastic.
And it's great.
Yeah, it's really good. Been out for about a month now, a little over a month, and
Yep. We watched the midnight release of the first show. or
yes,
the
we
first
did.
Song
Yeah, on the YouTubes.
on the tubes.
Yeah, and hopefully, my wife and I have planned but when they tour,
When they tour.
yeah, we're gonna go see them again.
Beauty.
Yeah, I've seen them 11 times.
Good grief.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I remember when they did, what was it, the Black Ice Tour?
Yes,
And you caught, 4 of them in Texas?
9 times.
9.
9 shows.
times.
Yes, I followed 'em.
Sir, have a problem.
We started in Denver, and we went all the way down through San Antonio and Houston, College Station, Dallas, back up through some other town there in that Dallas conglomerate, like Garland or something.
Okay.
Mesquite, maybe. and then ended in Oklahoma City, and then I drove home.
Wow.
9 concerts, 9 shows in a row.
I did not realize it was 9. I remembered 4.
I did 9 concerts, and
You were a groupie, dude.
I was a groupie, not a huge groupie, and I still am. Still a big fan, and
Nice.
to be honest with you, I don't really even know why. Like they kind of,
It's good music.
well, it's great, and they kind of make the joke. This is their 18th album, I think, 17 or 18, and they've made the same 18 albums.
18
Or the
times.
same, they made the same album 18 times, and
Yeah.
if you listen to the very first one and you listen to the latest one, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Same construction, and it's very, very good. I don't know how we got off on this, but
Music.
yeah. So the answer is I recommend the new AC/DC album because it's fantastic.
There you go. I like it.
We got to quit plugging these things that we don't get paid for.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll be okay.
I'm not going to send Angus a bill, but I guess we could. See
We could
if,
try.
I don't think he'll pay it, but he might.
Sponsors? Possibly you.
I imagine we're pretty low on the list for Angus Young's sponsorships.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
I imagine if he was going to sponsor something, it would be like the Super Bowl. Like that.
Yeah. Somebody that can pay them millions.
Yes. Wouldn't it be great if they got to play a Super Bowl bid? They're in their
They'll
70s.
never get to.
Oh, gosh, it
It's
breaks my
always going to
heart.
be some hip hop Cardi B nonsense.
Gosh, isn't that sad? Like,
Yeah.
what was
I mean,
the
to be
last-
fair,
To be fair.
who even watches the Super Bowl anymore? You just go for the commercials, and the last couple of years, the commercials have even been garbage.
That is true. That is true. I haven't watched the full Super Bowl in probably 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Like I can't even. The last one I remember vividly watching was when the Patriots came back and beat whoever.
A team 2.
And the only reason I remember that is because one of the people there that I was good friends with at the time, he was a huge Patriots fan. We were giving him crap all night long because they were just losing.
Then he got to dish it.
And then at the very, very end, they came back and won. And, of course, he got to dish it back out.
Sure.
That's the only reason I remember that. But that's been probably 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
And I know there are people that are sports fans out there right now pulling their hair out because we don't know
Nah, who cares?
anything about it. Yeah. So, all right. Good suggestions. And I'm always up for some new music.
Yeah.
And,
If you guys have any suggestions on some music, throw them up on the socials or hit us in an email. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll for sure see it on Facebook. So if you want to just do that, head over there, and you can just search "Fraternize with These Guys" and leave us a comment. All right, question number 3. This is interesting because it actually kind of paints a conundrum from a lady.
Okay.
All right, she says this is Daisy,
Oh, Daisy.
and every time I hear the
You're
name
Daisy
Daisy,
if you do.
that's the only thing I think about is Doc Holliday. Okay, so Daisy asks, my boyfriend and I are going to my friend's house tomorrow for a New Year's Eve party. Another one of my friends is coming also, but she's single, and she'll be the only single person there. Doubtful. Just right off the bat. I doubt that. If she's the only single person there, y'all need to branch out and find some bigger parties. But let's just go on with her assumption here. I'm wondering how to avoid myself feeling awkward at midnight when the clock hits 12. A little redundant. I feel like it's going to be weird. My boyfriend and I will be kissing as well as everyone else while she is just standing there staring. What should I do?
That's easy.
Is it?
Obviously, you invite her.
Oh, you okay?
It's a 3-way kiss.
Okay. Well, that's weird. I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, don't be rude.
I guess if you're not going to be rude, then surely there's another option though.
Yeah, or just don't invite her. I mean, that's probably the other nice thing to do.
So if there's no single people there, maybe don't invite
A single
a
person.
single person.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe that's just rude on your part.
maybe so. Maybe she's missing the point of the question, which is you're just being a complete and total jerk.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So one of the great answers is find some hot dude and pay him to ditch his girlfriend and flirt with your friend around midnight, and then spill something on his girlfriend's clothes so she has to go to the bathroom, and bam, they can make out.
That was the most convoluted answer.
Well, it's really, and the name of the person who gave this answer is Maleficent,
Well,
which is
that's fitting.
that's fitting. There he is. I don't know, the whole thing sounds strange to me. Like, really, who cares?
Huh. might actually tie into my Thinky Blinder question.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. By the way, that's another segment that we have called Thinky Blinders. That's coming up later in the show. But I don't know. If I was in that situation, first of all, how long is your New Year's kiss going on?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I'd do a pick.
Yeah. I mean, it's not long enough to be awkward, right?
I wouldn't think so.
If it is, like, that's awkward.
I mean, and everybody's kissing for 5 minutes at a time.
So everybody just sitting around
Is
making
there a
out?
stop clock? Maybe they got a shot clock buzzer.
I'd be happy to know how old this girl is. Because if she's in high school, and that literally is the whole point of the party,
Is
to
to
go
make
and
out.
make out,
Yeah.
well then for sure don't bring your ugly single
And for
friend.
sure, three-way. Sow them oats.
I'm going to go with don't bring your ugly single friend to a couple's party anytime.
You Todd Tom.
You Nancy Todd Tom.
Good
That's my answer. So I'm just going to go with that.
I'm going to go with a three-way kiss.
Okay.
Since you invited her. If she's not down, then that's her own fault. She can go pout in the corner.
Okay, so give her the option though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta offer it. You
Okay.
invited her.
All right. Well, that's super awkward. I think that's more awkward than her not getting kissed.
Well, she made the bed.
Okay, we're going to go right on to number 4.
Question 4.
I hope my church people don't listen to this for a lot of different reasons, but if y'all are out there, please don't fire me. This is all in good fun. Okay, number 4. If I could go, no, I don't know why I read it like that. It's supposed to be for us. So if we could go one place for New Year's that we've never been, where would we go? Now, this is actually a user-submitted question, which is really cool. So this comes from Mike, and he says, if we could go one place for New Year's, where would we go if we haven't been there, that we haven't been already?
Like just a place in general that we have not been.
Right. If
Or
we're
a
gonna,
place we've been before, but we
Nope.
want to go on New Year's?
I guess. I don't know. Let's roll with it. Something like that.
Well, me and the wife have always wanted to, on our bucket list, we've got going to Ireland. And I think going to Ireland and being in an Irish pub on New Year's would be dope.
I think it would too. I think the only thing that would be better is Paddy's Day.
Well,
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if the Irish really do Paddy's Day like we do.
pretty sure they do.
You think so?
They invented it.
Well, yeah,
They
but
may have drank away, but
didn't they invent it in America though?
I don't know. I haven't been doing the historical society stuff for very long. Only about 2 or 3 years. So I mean, you can't put me on the spot like that.
I would assume that anytime you find yourself in an Irish pub, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, well, yeah. Especially if you're in Ireland.
Yes.
An Irish pub.
I
Would it
guess
just
you
be
just
a pub there?
Yeah, you just call it a pub.
Yeah, so if you're just in a pub in Ireland, at any point, would be awesome.
It sounds awesome to me.
But I would like to go there for New Year's.
Okay.
That would be pretty awesome.
I think that'd be all right. I can't see myself wanting to go to New York and do the whole New York thing.
Gross. Too many people.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And I know people who've saved up for it for like 2 years
Good grief.
just to take that trip.
Just
And
to go be elbow to elbow with
Yeah.
sweaty, stinky people.
Yeah.
And you know it's New York. It's January. You know it's going to be cold.
Yep. And there's 2 million people or more.
Blech.
Yep.
Gross.
There's no bathrooms. None of the places are open.
Where it depends.
Well, I guess that's true.
It's New
that's
York. They
true.
just pee in the streets.
I think that's California, but maybe New York too.
I'm pretty sure they do it in New York too.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I get the question, but to me, New Year's isn't really that much of a holiday.
I agree. I like the fact that I have a couple days off from work.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Give me a long weekend. That's nice.
Yeah. Be able to sleep in the next day and not feel shame for it.
Yeah. What do they call January 1st? National Hangover Day?
That's true for a lot of folks.
That is?
for sure. I don't know. So Brandon's going to Ireland.
Yes.
If I was going to go anywhere, especially during that time of the year, I know it's going to sound crazy, but I would really want to go hunt in Mexico. for mule deer.
Muleys.
Yes.
Mexican muleys.
I think I would like to do that. And around New Year's would be a great time to go. Because I've been to Mexico in June, and it's miserable.
Yep.
And I've been to Mexico in October. It's still miserable. So maybe over New Year's it would be like not quite so miserable.
I lived in Mexico for 2.5 years.
So full of it.
And the whole time it was miserable because it was Mexico.
Look, I'd love to kind of come back and brush that over and make that a little more PC, but we've both been to Mexico, and
Yep,
it's a second world country at best.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. And the places that I've been, we went fishing twice in 2 different areas, and now both places, and Sugar Lake. Both of those lakes that we went to, now you can't even get on because the cartels have taken them over.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so not only were they hole in the walls to begin with, now you can't even go to them because the cartels have got them.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's crazy down there.
Ridiculous.
So I love Texas, and I love living in the United States. Even as
America.
crazy as it gets sometimes, that's for sure. All right, well, let's get on out of our 4 questions segment. 4 questions. All right, so 4 questions over and done with.
Yep. Episode 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next week's. I think we've got some really good questions coming up, but we'll get to that. So now, because it's New Year's and we really wanted to think of something that fit into that theme, our Cinemize section, we're going to actually do inspirational movies.
Yep.
So these are movies that are inspirational to us. They may not be inspirational to you. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you a couple of them.
Probably
Definitely not. But let's get right into our Cinemize time.
I can't help but not laugh. That's great. This is the greatest.
I don't know.
Every single time.
I think I've listened to that at least 80 times.
Yeah,
And
same here.
I laugh every single time.
You can't not.
We stole that from some poor YouTuber that posted that, and it has like 20 million views. So I imagine we're going to get copyright struck down on that one because we do not have the permission to use
No,
that.
we don't.
But I kind of figure if it's on YouTube, it's kind of
fair
fair
game.
game for most of us.
Should put your name on it.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
in the fridge.
All right. So inspirational movies that you could watch on New Year's if you have a projector and fog machine and
some laser beams.
Yeah, you definitely could watch these movies, and some would be really messed up with those elements included.
That's true.
But I'd be good. Could be fun.
Could be fun.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to run down a list of kind of what we think qualifies for us personally. And then we're going to try to come up with a top 3 between the 2 of us movies to watch for Inspirado.
The search for Inspirado.
Going into the new year. If you haven't made your New Year's resolutions, you should probably get cracking on that. You got just not very long at all.
Just a couple of days?
Yeah. And probably...
Depending on when you listen to it.
That's right. And probably, if you haven't made them by now, I mean...
You're probably not going to do it anyways.
And probably, even if you have made them by now...
Probably not going to stick to them.
Probably not. I think a majority end about week 2 in January.
Mine usually ends minute 4 into the new year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like the night of.
Night of. Yeah, I usually break it. I make it, and then I break it just to let it know I'm the boss.
That's
You will not govern me.
Hey, what, man? That's dedication.
Yeah.
That's dedication. All right, I'm going to start and just suggest kind of cheating. It's not really one movie, but the entire Rocky series. From Rocky 1 all the way to the newest Creed.
Creed 2.
Yeah, the second one. They're all good. Like every single one of them was fantastic.
Rocky 5? Was it 2 or 5?
So 2.
One of those were pretty bad.
No, man, they're all good in their own right. Even the bad ones are good.
I gotta disagree with you on that
Like
one.
even if it's a dumpster fire as a
Rocky
movie.
4.
Rocky IV is fantastic.
That's the greatest one.
That's
the only one
It's
that
definitely
I
the
will
best one.
repeatedly watch.
Okay, all right, and it has the fight against the Russians, which is great.
The Russians.
The Ruskies.
The old Dolph Lundgren.
Yes. Have you seen him in Expendables? He looks fantastic.
Yeah, he's huge.
He is huge. I
Well,
wonder.
they all are huge.
That's true.
Still.
Except for Jason Statham.
Well, yeah. he's
freaking
never
tiny.
been huge,
No.
but
Why is he in that movie?
yeah, it's 5 minutes techish.
By the way, we should put those on the list too because those are fantastic movies.
Yeah, they are. They are pretty good.
Maybe not so inspirational as more as like we don't have to die. I guess we can still be badass whenever we're in our 80s or however old they are.
That's true.
Yeah, with the exception, I think Jason Statham was fantastic. I do not think that Jean-Claude Van Damme ever
He looks beat up.
does a little bit.
He looks like he's been using the tanning salon after Trumpy.
Ooh,
All orangish.
ugh.
And
Yeah, that's
fake
rough.
baked.
Yuck.
Looks like he's been sun tanning for 42 years.
So
No sunscreen in
So-
Mexico
not under cartel rule.
under cartel rules.
So maybe not inspirational.
Yeah.
Those. How do you want to do this? You want to trade back and forth?
Yeah, I think it's just no particular order. Let's do 5 of them.
All right.
We'll just fire them back and forth.
Okay. So I got the entire Rocky series, which is kind of cheating, but they're all fantastic.
We'll just say Rockies.
All right.
Okay. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh man, I should have had that one. That one should have been mine. That's fantastic.
That's a brilliant movie.
It is. It's one of those movies that when you just think inspirational movies, it's not a sports movie.
No.
It's not like a go get 'em movie. It's not a war movie.
Nope.
I think it's like subtle inspiration.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that. There's very few movies that I could just sit back and watch. If they said you had 5 movies to watch for the rest of your life, that's definitely going to be in the list.
Dang, that'd be another good episode idea. Top
That's
5
not bad.
movies for all time.
For all time.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right.
Go ahead and pencil that down.
Yeah, I will. We'll put that on the list. I'm going to go ahead and steal one because I know we had both thought of it. I'm going to go ahead and just put that out there. Rudy's got to be on there.
Rudy.
And I will take this moment to say also with Rudy, even though the movie's fantastic and it's very, very well done, it doesn't make logical sense.
No.
You don't.
In no way.
You don't put a Todd Tom on the team for Notre Dame whenever you have a limited number of players.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense logically. But I get the tenet of the movie for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's that feel-good story of the underdog being able to crush it.
That's right. And like all these movies, I think that we've got, I haven't heard all of yours, but I know with all of mine, a lot of it comes down to the cast.
Yeah.
The Rudy cast is just all-star.
good.
And a lot of them are young. Like Vince Vaughn is on there.
Oh, my God, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, and it's not even Vince Vaughn. It's Vincent Vaughn in the credits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like super, super early. But fantastic cast makes a lot of difference in a lot of these movies. I can't think of an inspirational flick that has no-name actors. I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure I could probably stand to be corrected, but I just can't think of one off the top
Yeah,
of my
they're
head.
indie movies.
Yeah, and I don't watch indie movies for inspiration.
No.
very rarely.
I'm with you on that one.
What you got?
Well, since we shared Rudy, next one that I remember just always being inspired after watching it is called October Sky.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Oh, Jake
Gyllenhaal. Yeah, and you know what? So his dad in that is Cooper, right? Something Cooper.
DB Pooper Cooper.
It is not that. Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper.
Yes. I love him in everything that he does.
Yeah, I can't think of a bad movie.
Not
he's
one.
done.
Whether he's a good guy like in Lonesome Dove
Or a bad guy?
or a bad guy in October Sky, he's just fantastic, and he really does play a good bad guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of got that look.
Yep.
A great movie. All-star cast again. Some no names in there,
A couple.
but really good, and a great time in American history also.
Yeah.
That time where you've got all these people coming in and trying to develop this stuff really quickly because of the Cold War, and
The space race.
very good. Very, very good.
I always would watch that movie, and I would always go, I have to go get a rocket. I need to shoot a rocket. It gives you the inspiration to, well, for me anyways, it gives me the inspiration to learn.
That's hilarious. I thought you were going to say blow crap up.
And blow crap up.
Okay. All right. Now, look, we are rednecks. And if we can learn and blow crap up,
game on.
yes. Yeah, win. All right. I'm going to throw an obvious one out, and definitely one for both of us, but Braveheart. Braveheart. I mean, you just don't get much more inspirational than that.
Yeah, I would have to disagree with the inspiration. There's a couple of moments.
You're out your dang mind.
Bro.
At the end of that movie,
That's a good one.
it's a great flick.
It's good. But if you get rid of the whole romance crap,
Okay.
you got an hour and 10-minute movie of brilliance.
Okay. All right. I can see your points. I disagree, but I
Well.
see where you're coming from.
Don't be a Todd Tom over here.
But you know, he does get with two lovely ladies. So that's its inspiration in its own right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
And
Well,
then the speech is very inspirational.
the speed, yes, all of them. There's several of them. The one from the horse, of course.
The horse, of course.
Oh, I didn't
What's his
even.
name, Mr. Ed?
I don't think so. I think it was Sir Ed, because he's a Scottish horse.
Scottish.
But the end speech, the freedom speech, is pretty
Yeah.
good too. Although it's not really a speech so much as the last utterance
Gurglings.
of a dying man.
Gurglings of a dying man.
So inspirational deaths maybe
There you
go
go.
under Braveheart.
I
All
like
right,
it.
what else you got?
All right. One of my... Since you did a series of movies...
Okay.
I'm going to roll a series. And this is a great series. And me and my wife actually watched these a handful of months ago.
Okay.
Mighty Ducks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of out of left field with that.
Yeah.
But
So
so
especially
true.
being West Texas boys,
Right.
we don't even know what hockey is.
That is true.
And I wanted so bad to play freaking hockey watching that movie.
Did you really?
Dude, yeah. We ended up doing, when that first one came out, me and the neighbor kids, we would all get together with rollerblades and we would do street hockey with rollerblades, which is the dumbest thing you can imagine.
Nice name drop with the rollerblades, by the way.
Yeah, we were rollerbladers.
Man, I haven't even thought about those.
Well-
It's probably been, what, 20 years?
Oh, good God. Yeah, at least.
It's been a long time since I thought about rollerblades. I had some.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sucked.
Oh, I had that down. I could go backwards, and
Oh, yeah.
forwards most of the time.
I could always go forwards. It was the coming to a stop that I had a hard time with.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, it makes it even more difficult in the street.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. I can only imagine. I'm gonna put Dead Poets Society and Goodwill Hunting out there.
I really thought you were going to say Deadpool.
No, great movie,
Great movie.
but not necessarily inspirational. Although it has its
its
points.
moments.
Hey, don't steal movies.
Sorry.
We're talking about Dead Poets and Goodwill, and the reason I put them together obviously is because of the late great Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Great movies. Whenever I became a youth pastor, I got hired, and before the first Sunday, I watched Dead Poets Society to get some inspiration on how to teach these knothead kids, right?
Yep.
So I had this whole lesson plan. I was going to be this amazing teacher, and I showed up, and it was like just me and one little fat kid that got there late.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was-
Sound like us growing up.
Well, yeah, except we weren't in
You
church.
you and the fat kid.
But so I think both of those movies for sure inspirational, and definitely would recommend.
Yeah, not bad. I do like your list. My number fiver.
Okay.
Because that was your number 5, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not keeping count.
5 and 5.5.
Something like that.
So my last one is a Grady.
Okay.
Cool Runnings.
Oh, dang, bro. That should have been mine. That's such a good movie. I didn't even think about that movie.
This is another one that I watched it and I was like, I don't even know what the hell bobsledding is. We don't have snow, but they didn't either.
That is true.
I want to do this.
Interesting. So We have snow sometimes, but not like bobsled snow.
Yeah, we have flat ground.
That's true. That's
so
true.
we don't get slaloms or anything like that.
As a matter of fact, the drive between our houses, I think there's one hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Going back towards the other big city, there's a couple of hills.
Yeah, there's a couple in there. I will say that even as inspirational as that movie was, I can't think that I was ever inspired to bobsled. It looks terrible.
Oh,
terrifying.
It looks fun.
It does not look fun.
That looks like so much fun, unless you flip and then you rip your heads off.
Yeah, and by the way, they all flip at some point in the movie.
Well, they don't rip their heads off.
Don't you remember the scene, the video that? Oh gosh, what was that guy's name?
John Candy.
How did I forget John Candy's name? They showed that video, and like the lights come back on, and all of them are gone except those guys.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's kind of our top fives. I have one honorable mention though.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that because I have an honorable mention.
Would you like to go first?
No, I'll let you.
So my honorable mention is the nerd in me coming out, and it's definitely all the Lord of the Ring movies.
Oh, gross.
Yes, extremely inspirational.
Now, it's inspirational to go to sleep.
Now you have to time it just right, especially at the end of the series, because there's like
If you sync it up with Pink Floyd's
there's about 14 endings that you have to sit through, and so about 4 of them are very, very inspirational.
I could not do that. Yeah, it inspires me to read the book.
Reading the book's almost shorter than watching the
sure it
full-length
is.
films because it's.
I'm sure it is.
It's draining.
The book is so much better.
Oh gosh.
And I don't even read. I haven't even read the book.
What a Karen thing to say. Oh my gracious! All right, Mr. Smart Aleck, what's your add-on?
So mine's not a technical movie per se, I guess.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It is a YouTube video.
Okay, wait. You're gonna have to connect the dots because I don't know if a YouTube video can be considered an inspirational film.
But it's over a certain amount of time, and I think... Well, how about I just tell you what it is?
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
It's Guy on a Buffalo.
I'm on a buffalo. Hey, bear, bet you didn't know you was chasing a guy
On a Buffalo!
Oh, good Lord.
And you are welcome, listeners. That will be stuck in your head for the rest of the week.
Yes. So if you don't know about Guy on a Buffalo, it's actually based on a movie. So there's your loophole. Technically speaking,
I didn't even know that.
it is. It's this old, corny Western that literally did nothing at the box office, like nothing.
It's about a guy on a buffalo.
Yes, and it was a guy who literally was in a Western, and his shtick was he rode a buffalo. Terrible movie. My wife and I actually went back and found the movie and watched it. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yes.
However, there was a Texas country band called Jomo and the Possum Posse. I don't know. It's not a racial slur that I'm aware of, but that's what they called it, Jomo and the Possum Posse. And you can go on YouTube and find this. And what they did is they did 4 videos. There's a 4-part video series on the movie. And it's this ridiculous song that they play. And they just dub it into clips of the movie.
Of the movie.
And so in like this particular scene, he's chasing a bear. And so they narrate the song
That's
where
beautiful.
he's chasing a bear. It's hilarious. So good call.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this movie.
I don't know where you get inspiration from that. My inspiration from
Because
that,
you could ride a buffalo. That's inspiring to me.
my inspiration on that is I will not get that song out of my head for at least a week.
That's fair.
So if you're a fan of Fraternize with these guys and you go find it, make sure you leave a comment saying that we sent you.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd sponsor us.
Hey,
Yeah, Jomo.
possibly you.
Get your posse and come
The
sponsor
possum
us.
posse. bring your possum posse with.
Oh my gracious. All right, so if we had to, this has gone on way too long. If we had to nail it down to 3, I'm pretty adamant in leaving the Rocky in there. The rest of them I can kind of dance around a little bit with.
I think Rudy and Shawshank for a top three.
Or top three?
No particular order.
Okay.
The Rockies,
Okay.
Shawshank, Rudy.
All right. I like it. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that don't like it. So send us your recommendations.
Tell us what you
And,
think.
If you got some very good insights, we'll read them on the next episode.
If you got any other YouTube videos you want us to check out, post a link on the Facebook page.
Yes, and if they're as funny as the guy on the buffalo, I will definitely be checking those out.
Yup.
Yep, fantastic. All right, let's go right into our almost final segment, Thinky Blinders.
Thank you, blindness.
All right, so Brandon went first on the 4 questions, and I'll go first on this. So what the Thinky Blinder is, these are the questions that we have come up with on our own to ask the other co-host.
Yep.
So
We
that's
have
what
no
we're going to do.
prior knowledge of
No
these
prior
questions.
knowledge. We haven't seen it before, and so we'll just ask the question. And my question isn't funny or really doesn't even have to do with New Year's, but because you are a gamer and you enjoy those type things, my question to you would be, right now, would you go ahead and break down and buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X now, or do you wait a little bit?
Me personally, I am a staunch believer in not buying a console straight on release. I'm not typically a Gen 1 console purchaser because of the fact that there's always bugs. Both systems right now are riddled with bugs.
Really?
Yeah, the PS4 is crashing systems, crashing hard drives.
The 5. The
Oh, yeah,
newest one.
the PS5.
Okay. But how long then?
I typically give it a year.
A year.
Yeah, they will come out with several patch updates, software updates, all that stuff. Work out all the kinks, and then a lot of the times what they'll do is rebuild.
Really?
Depending on how bad it is, they can go in and rebuild the systems if they have to. Most of the time it takes about a year. I mean, they're monster companies. They know all these glitches because of the consumers.
Right.
And especially with social media now, it's just
Oh, yeah, I
they
can imagine.
blast it.
Okay.
And that's all I saw on a couple of the sites that I peruse
Okay.
was talking about the PS5 having its issues and the Series X, even it was having issues with like the disc reader.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Do people use disc anymore?
when I bought my last Xbox, I got the One X, and I haven't had I think the last disc that I bought for a game was 4 years ago, and it was only because it came with the Xbox. When I
Dang.
bought the original Xbox One, it came with, I think, Fallout 4 or Call of Duty. I don't even remember.
Wow.
But everything that I've got is all digital. So
I'm definitely no gamer, and I use my Xbox One for mostly television.
yeah,
Netflix and Hulu and Prime. That's usually what that's what I use it for. Is there any reason for somebody who uses it for that to look into buying one of these new consoles?
if you're not big on ultra high def, no. Of course, most of the time, if you're looking to do that, you're going to be gaming.
Right.
A lot of the stuff now, right, like Hulu, Netflix, they have ultra high def, but you have to have a TV that'll run it. Now, the Series X will run, they say true 4K.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, man. It's been a while since I've dug into that, but I don't think that it's true 4K. Yeah, I could be wrong. But if you're not looking to upgrade a couple of things, I wouldn't worry about it.
Gotcha.
You're running you can run 1080p off of your Xbox One to your TV through HDMI and be good to go.
Gotcha.
getting into the big stuff, if you're going to do some heavy gaming, or even like me, I'm looking, instead of buying the new Xbox, I'm probably just going to rebuild my computer
Okay.
because it'll be a little bit more expensive than the Series X. But Microsoft now has integrated gaming between, if you have what's called their Xbox Game Pass, you can do games on Android phones, your Xbox, of course, and then there's a ton of the titles on the Game Pass that are actually available on PC. So all that stuff rolls over into 4K, and PCs are always going to just always going to outperform consoles. They're erector sets.
Fair. Now, I always had the fear of not being able to keep up with the PC thing. Like, if you're really on top of the game as far as upgrading all the time, are you constantly upgrading equipment? Or is
No, not necessarily. If you go in and buy like a stock gaming computer, it'll be pretty solid, and you won't have to do anything upgrade-wise on that until 4 or 5 years.
Gotcha.
And it depends a lot on the technology, too. Now the big thing is VR.
Yeah.
And you got to have a pretty solid graphics card to run VR.
Okay.
And your processors. So that's where your big chunks of money is going to come at anyways. If you really got into it and wanted to build a top-of-the-line gaming PC, you would theoretically be able to run that system for 10 years.
Gotcha.
It's probably been 7 since I rebuilt mine the last.
And you're still able to
I could still run
just about anything?
99% except for VR. The only thing I can't do is VR.
I got you. All right. Well, good to know. So maybe hold off on those expensive consoles for another year or so.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
All right. Good to know.
That's just one idiot's opinion.
Well, an educated opinion.
Yeah.
You've only been gaming for like 47 years.
52, actually.
52 years.
52.
All right. Last Thank You Blinder.
All right. This one does fall into the New Year's category. What are your New Year's superstitions? New Year's superstitions or beliefs?
I have none.
None.
Zero.
Really?
Yep. The New Year's is a man-made thing that we've pinpointed in our circle around the sun that we decide to celebrate, and I don't think it has any bearing on our lives whatsoever. I think it's just another day that it's kind of like a birthday. We decide that that's when we're going to celebrate it, and that's why we celebrate it, and it's arbitrary.
I agree with you 100%, but we still do the, what is it, black-eyed peas and...
Now, don't get me wrong. We do some of those traditions, and so black-eyed peas and cabbage.
Yeah, that's what cabbage.
So good luck and money, right? That's what
Something
we're all...
like, I don't even know what
That's
the
what
superstition is.
I'm pretty sure that's what they mean. That's what they stand for, is good luck and money.
My wife cooks it, so I have to eat it.
Well, there you go. And you hope it's good because you know you got to eat it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't ever remember doing anything that I really believed in for sure.
Blowing stuff up, fireworks.
Yeah. I've never really done that either for New Year's.
I hadn't either. I'm to the age now where I don't even like 4th of July because I have idiot neighbors that will pop fireworks from July 4th to, I think the last time we heard fireworks was about a month ago.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Birthday parties, they just stock up, man. I don't know how they can afford it.
Well, consider yourself lucky about one thing. When we lived in Albuquerque, we always played the game, which was guess whether it's fireworks or gunshots. And usually it was gunshots.
Yeah.
So you'd be fortunate for that. But anyway, no, I don't do any of that stuff. And 4th of July seems to be the time to pop fireworks if you're going to do it.
January, it's cold.
Yeah. Who wants to go out and eat hot dogs and pop fireworks?
I mean, I'm still going to smoke on the smoker,
Okay.
but
Well, you got
It'll
one of those.
probably be a ham.
Yeah, but you got one of those fancy dancy smokers. You
I
can just press a
do.
button and then go in the
Go in
house.
the house. Yeah. It's
So
the
it's not-
greatest.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It is the same. If I'm doing a ham, I got to go out there and spritz it.
Okay, all right. Well, it's not the same, but I'll give you
Shenanigans.
half points on that. This has been a fairly long episode, so we got
like
a
it.
couple of things in the running for next episode. So stick around, and I hear that we have a call from Todd Tom on the next episode. Is that
Okay.
right?
I believe so.
So I'm looking forward to that, and we don't really know what that's going to consist of or look like yet. But,
Could be rough.
It could be, but we're
It is
excited.
a Todd Tom.
And it will be funny regardless of what happens. So, well, God bless all of you guys. Happy New Year. We hope that if 2020 has treated you poorly, we hope that 2021 will be bright and bushy-tailed for you, and you have a wonderful New Year celebration. And also, don't bring your ugly single friends to your couples party.
Unless you plan on inviting them to the triple kiss.
I'm going to go ahead and ignore that part and just say don't bring them. But let's close today with our segment of It Could Always Be Worse.
All right. So today, after buying over $300 worth of food and alcohol, I found out all of my friends aren't coming to my New Year's party, but headed to the big party at the local club. The club, which I sold my ticket to after all of my friends convinced me to throw a party instead.
All right.
It could always be worse.
It sounds like it could always be worse for that particular gentleman. Even though we usually try to just end it with that, I do want to deconstruct a couple of things. $300 for a party seems light to me for food and alcohol.
And booze.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's-
agreed.
Sounds a little bit light. And then also, what club do you have to buy a ticket to?
I don't know,
But
but
we just live in small towns,
you
and
really just need new friends.
so maybe New Year's resolution for
Get
them
new
is
friends.
find new friends. All right. Well, with that, my friends, y'all have a great, wonderful, happy New Year, and we will catch you on next week's episode.